Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Aries for the month of June 15th, or for the period of June 15th. Normally I would do June 15th to the end of June, but throughout this entire reading it kept coming through that it needed to be up until probably about the July 10th range. So I'm going to say June 15th to July 10th. There's always some kind of residual overlapping energies month to month anyway, is my feeling regardless, but because I feel we're always continuing to evolve. But the predominant energies for the reading for today do feel as though you've been going through some significant change here, although I don't think you've taken action on it, Aries. So just quickly, I just want to say thank you for those that are returning to my channel, and for all of my subscribers. As well, wanted to say thank you to those that are new to my channel, and I'll try to give you a brief synopsis of the reading beforehand. So I'll just quickly mention the cards. How I do the readings is I do general energies, which are the cards that are toward the back. Some of them are out of view just because I'm limited by equipment and space to a degree. And then I also have the cards below, which are more central, that relate to career and finance. So just in what I was able to pick up from the reading after the laying of the cards. And I should also mention, I choose a lot of decks because I like to be fairly thorough. I think every deck provides some emphasis when there's a lot of repeated cards, and I also feel that there's also more advice that comes through from different perspectives. Not all of the decks seem to carry the same meanings, with even though some of the cards may have similar maybe like relative to a number. For example, with Rider Waite deck, which is the central deck here, and then also using the Witch's Tarot, the Hanged Man, they still, even though there's some similar energies and similar meanings, there are some distinctions. So I just wanted to make mention of that. That's why I use so many different decks, and I know the readings are a little bit longer, but I just feel if you have the time, this is what I want to offer you. So I'll just go through some of the decks that I've used. I'm actually just using on the other side here, I know you can't see all the cards here, but I do have the 4 of clubs, 5 of clubs, and 9 of hearts, and that is actually just a regular card playing deck because I'm using a gypsy fortune telling playing cards deck as well, and that one is by Jonathan B. I'm also using the fortune reading cards, and that's by Sharina Starr. That would be the back cards Snake and Lion. And I'm also using the numerology guidance deck by Michelle Buchanan, and that would be the self-discipline and the health card at the back. I'm also using some new decks in this one. So I am using the Muse deck, which again, I'll pull them forward as I go through, but that would be these 3 cards on this side, these 3 cards on the other. And then, which is I really love that deck a lot. And that's one of the newer ones here. And then the Fountain deck, which is off to the side here. I'll again pull those cards through toward the, well, as I go through the cards themselves, and that's the Fountain Tarot deck. And I'm not sure who that one's by offhand here. That is, sorry, give me half a second. I have to grab a few things here. That one's created by Jonathan Sayes and written by Jason Gruel and designed by Andy Tadero. So that's the Fountain Tarot. These ones are fairly structured in the way that the Rider Waite deck would be. I do find that the Muse deck, which is Muse Tarot, which is by Chris Ann, is a little more creative, and I really like that deck. And again, that was one of the newer ones I'm using. I am also using the, as I mentioned, the Witch's Tarot Companion by Ellen Dugan, and that would be this deck here. Really nice cards, love those as well. And I'm also using a newer deck, which is the Chakra Wisdom Tarot, and that is by Tori Hartman. So that would be, they're related to each of the chakras, the colors of the cards as well. And I'm using the, sorry, just trying to, I also have in the center here, well, actually I'll just leave it until I pull it through. That's the Harvest and the Warrior card, which is the Book of Rune cards. And that one is by Ralph Blum, or Bloom, however that's pronounced there. And I'm also using Archangel Power Tarot deck. That's by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. I have 5 cards pulled for that one. 4 of Raphael is one of them, just to let you know what those cards were there. And those ones I use primarily for advice cards. I just find they're very detailed as well, and I quite like that deck. So I'll get right to it. As I say, I mean, what I generally picked up from the reading is, and again, there's some overlapping elements here in a lot of the decks. So for sure, you're in some period of introspection. I don't feel that you're taking action necessarily, direct action, in that period from June 15th to July 10th, 2020, but I do feel that you are definitely contemplating some action. I feel that you are going through some kind of a transition on an emotional front. I feel that you might be dealing with some issues from the past, but I think that whatever this other issue is that's relationship oriented, I suspect. Again, I don't do relationship readings, which if you've watched any of my other videos before, I don't do the relationship readings, although I do feel there's a lot of overlap in our day-to-day, so I might touch on it, but I don't go through a lot of detail. But I do feel that there is some kind of relationship issue here that might be changing you on the home front. I don't know if there was some element of a move or a shift of perspective or a contemplation of any of those things, but it does seem like there's some kind of transition in that realm. I do feel that you are coming to a conclusion or an ending of something, so ending of a cycle. You have a couple of 10s in your reading here as well, but even on the financial front, and you have some cards of trying to regain balance. But sorry, I do also feel there's a lot of Hermit cards here where you're doing a lot of self-analysis, a lot of introspection. I feel that something may not have worked out in the way that you expected it to, and that's why you have gone inward. I don't feel this is a time for you to go up against anyone. I think this is more about you healing you. I think that you've come to some kind of conclusion about maybe this relationship that seems to be more predominant over everything else. But there's definitely some good financial things coming up for you as well. But again, from the period of June 15th through to about July 10th, somewhere in that 3-week period, I find most of this will be resonating for you. Again, these are general readings, so, don't try to force a fit. If everything doesn't, fit as you would expect it to, maybe you're looking for something a little different than what I'm providing. But I do feel that this is speaking to, at least a couple of different ARIES groups that are going through this kind of a change anyway. I did feel that there was a lot of self-analysis, but again, not a lot of action being taken at this time. I think that you are trying to, I don't want to say sever ties completely with this individual or with this situation, but I do feel that you are reevaluating your next step. You're a little disappointed. I think it's something traditional that you wanted and it wasn't falling into place the way you wanted it to. I think that you have chosen to I will say this, even though we want something traditional, or some of us, not all, but a lot of times when you seek something traditional and you do some things in a non-traditional way, sometimes that can bring about what you're actually looking for. So not to be afraid of the journey it takes to manifest it. And I don't know why that needed to be said, but I feel someone needs to hear that. So again, when you're seeking something traditional or, as you have it in your head, we get very stuck on how it needs to present itself or how we need to live it, how it needs to be structured. And I think that that's too rigid of a parameter for today's times. I think we have to allow for that ebb and flow and and a little bit of catch up and falling back to be able to see where things need to be strengthened. As I say, I do feel that this is you stepping back from a situation that you don't feel is working in the way that you wanted it to go. I don't feel that there's a lot of resentment. I think that this is something that you're dealing with on a more inward level, but that you are coming to terms with this other person, and you're just stepping back from it. You're pulling out. So maybe there might have been a bit of a disagreement and maybe a few little harsh words, but I don't feel it was anything that was too animated and over blown and all of that. I feel that it was really something that you're not ready for. I think you just weren't ready for. I think you followed your heart and you moved into this situation, and then you discovered that it wasn't exactly maybe what you'd had before. And this is you stepping back, sorry, healing up what you needed to heal first before you're able to go forward. So you thought you might have been ready, but I don't think you were quite ready for this step, whatever it was. And so now you're either moving out or you're having to pull back from the situation and reevaluate how you want to approach it again. So whether you are still going to continue to date this person and maybe you live with them and you have moved out, or you are moving into a place where you're able to just let go entirely and realize that it wasn't quite right for you. But that is the overall general gist of this reading on that basis, on a general level. As far as your money and finance, I do feel you've got some career opportunities opening up. I don't feel that in the next couple of weeks or next 2.5, 3 weeks that there's a lot of action being taken. I think it's still in that gestational phase. Things are still in the early seeding of that. I do feel that you are, even though you're in an inward phase of pulling back and trying to figure out who you are again, or where I don't feel that you feel lost and you don't know who you are. I just think that you feel that you thought you were ready for something, knowing who you are and where you were headed and what you wanted, all of those things. But I don't think your timing was well matched for what was presented. I think this was more of a timing issue. I also feel that you will be starting to get together. There's more optimism financially and all of that toward the end of that period. Maybe the latter part of June and into July. There is more of an energy of you starting to I don't want to say full on celebrate, but for sure, connecting with people again, and that there's trust that you're able to go forward. But I do feel that you are feeling some kind of a loss on an emotional level. At the very end, I normally don't pull a lot of unless I'm prompted to, pull the bottom of the card deck, which I did get the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So I do feel that sometimes that can indicate a financial loss, but it was clarified with the Four of Swords as well as the Eight of Cups. So I don't feel in this case that it was, it might have been some kind of a little bit of a loss to you, but nothing that's significant enough to make any impact. But I do feel it was more along the lines of you feeling that you've kind of taken some kind of emotional separation or loss on that basis. But again, there may have been a little bit of a financial loss as well. But I do still feel financially something is still coming to you. You do have the Six of Pentacles with the Ace of Pentacles, so there's definitely some new gifts that are coming through, new happenings in terms of opportunities. You, in some of the other decks, also have Ace of Wands, so aces are all about that change and that movement forward. Okay, so I'll just get right into the reading itself more specifically. So looking at, I think I'll start with the fortune reading cards, which is the Snake and the Lion. Sorry. Something with my throat today. Anyway, with the Snake card, maybe I'll try to pull that forward. Okay, with the Snake card, your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path, but be careful. So this card is really indicating that, you do have a reason maybe to hesitate. Oh, I should mention there was also a lot of cards that indicated you needed to be patient here as well. So there is some level of be patient with yourself mostly. Okay, so this card is really about, thoughts and emotions, things that are below the surface that are running quite deep. And again, it does speak to you needing to spend that time alone. You're using your intuition to guide you, and it is an especially strong time for you on an intuitive level. It's also that you're being guided to, a more positive, fruitful path, but you have to be patient, is what this card also says. And again, it's throughout your entire reading to be patient. You are starting to feel that maybe there's some jealous people around you, or people that might strike out at you, or something. There was something that you least expected that caused you some heartache or stress. Again, I feel more relationship oriented on that level. And just to tread lightly around that, not to go, plummeting forward with any aggressive actions to get past it, or rapid decisions in haste. Just be patient and mindful, because I feel that there must be a reason, that this is coming forward as for you to be patient. Maybe this person is not somebody who is going to be directly a part of your past. I feel that you are somebody who tends to maintain your relationships. So again, that could be why, just to be careful about what you say and how you kind of bow out of the situation. But you are, with this card, spending more time alone than you normally would, considering I feel that Aries, you are a more social sign. But I do feel that it's good for you to pull back on this level. I think that whatever this ending was, it might feel like a rejection, but I think, again, it was really more just about timing. I think that, you might have been dwelling a little bit in the past, or making some kind of a comparison to the past to the future here, or the current situation rather. But, you do have some passionate times ahead, and there is a reason to take a leap here. You do have a leap of faith as well in the Archangel deck, Power Tarot deck. So again, they do follow. That would be like the Fool, basically, taking a leap of faith card. So, but again, with the Snake, it's also letting you know that that this is just about you being patient. There are some good things that are coming for you toward the end of, for sure, toward the end of June and into July. But I feel it is, obviously going to be a longer journey than that. This is really just a highlights of the forecast for June highlights. So I think you're continuing, as we all do in life. We continue down, we take the same roads oftentimes, but see different things each time we take that road. So I think that as you build on yourself and build on your goals, you're seeing new things and adding new elements to yourself at all times, which help you to become closer to the person that is allowing you to feel healed and allowing you to feel more empowered. So that card also, the Snake, also indicates that this is a time where, it's going to be a favorable year for you. This is a time where you can, make your voice heard. You've got some potential here, just to stay positive, and that there is going to be some strong advancement financially and professionally. I wouldn't say, overspend, take a trip and all of that right now, although I know there's some limitations on trips and things, and where you choose to go. Sorry, given the current status of the world with COVID and so on. But I do feel that you can still take trips and holidays in a lot of places. It's just more localized. And but again, I just feel it's just about you being a little more frugal again, still within this period. Maybe you do have some kind of a money-making idea that will, bring about something that excites you. But it is a good luck card with the Snake card. It is a good luck card in that if you are trying to work on a project or move ahead in a career, you are able to bring yourself into some central focus. There's some kind of, you're allowing yourself to be seen with that card. So the following card is the Lion. And so the Lion says, harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. So again, even though the card of the lion is talking about charging ahead with, great energy and so forth, I didn't really feel for the rest of the reading that's where it was coming from for you. I felt that you were just to go slow and steady progress is what needs to be made here. The lion, but it does speak to still moving forward. I feel with the lion, this is also a card that's letting you know you have the, like there's justice here with this card. You've got power around you. You've got protection around you. There's things that, challenges that you are able to face. So you are going to have some challenges here ahead, but it's nothing that you haven't been able to deal with before. I feel like this is you, just picking up and continuing on and going and going and going. This is what you do. You're seeing yourself accomplished personally, professionally. These are victories for you. Your nature is one that you generally tend to be fairly popular and have some leadership qualities, that help you to rise faster. I feel that you are somebody who earns respect from others and you have admiration. Again, this does speak to some travel, but I do feel that just be patient with that. I don't know that it's going to happen in the next 3 weeks here, but you might have that urge and you're thinking about it currently. I do feel that you're somebody who's quite brave and fearless and that you have some really loyal loved ones around you and friends. I do feel that you might be angry at this time with the lion energy. I feel that maybe you're holding this in. In terms of, career, I feel that you're not letting people get away with things. I feel that you're on a mission to get to where you need to be. I feel that you have the ability to gain that fame, that wealth, that luxury. I think you are a survivor is what I would say, Aries. You are a survivor. You are someone who is able to rise, above the rest, and oftentimes without very little, or what appears to be very little damage done to you. I think for the most part you're quite resilient. I think that you know when to pull back and to heal. I don't know that you necessarily confront all of your issues emotionally, but I think that you're getting better at it. I'll put it that way. I think that you're getting better at it. I think a lot of times you are so motivated to move ahead that you don't stop and think about why something isn't working. You might try to personalize it. You might try to, or overtly look for blame, but I don't feel that's really the situation on lots of levels here. Sometimes, as I say, it's really just about timing. So moving on to the card of self-discipline. I'm not really going to pull that one forward because I think it's fairly self-explanatory and I think it's pretty visual here with that. So self-discipline here is a card of, just that you need to discipline yourself, get motivated again. You need to take some action. Again, I don't feel that for this next few weeks you need to be pushing ahead in an aggressive way. I feel it's just about you. The universe is really just saying you just need to take some action. You need to take some action to heal yourself, clarify your goals, plan, prioritize your ideas and your actions, get things going again, and then that also goes to your mental and emotional state. Do some things that help you to feel more aligned with yourself again, that heal yourself. A lot of times we look to other people to heal us and to make us feel whole, and a lot of times love is something that does that, which makes us see. If others can see us, then we tend to feel seen and loved. And if you can't love yourself, someone else helps us to see our own qualities. And in that way, relationships are quite advantageous. But I feel in your case at this time, you need to be encouraged to rein in any of those thoughts or emotions that aren't what you want to attract. I feel that, sorry, something about the rain, which it has been lately, it really affects me, even though I love the rain. But anyway, as far as doubts and worries, I feel that you're allowing that to consume you. I think maybe you're taking this defeatist attitude that whatever you're leaving behind is not going to return or is not going to advance, or that you'll have difficulty building it again. I feel that this is unfounded. This is something that you're just imposing on yourself. You do, of course, have some cards too regarding self-sabotage as well later in your, more so with the financial part of things too, but I just want you to know that's not really it's not really how it is. That's just how, this is just what your mind is telling you. And you just need to have strength and that willpower. Just focus on the things that are important to you. It doesn't have to be a rigid idea of how things have to be. But it's not about being perfect. It's about, as they say, progressing. So I think the important thing here is just to surrender to your own self-improvement, be disciplined and mindful of where you're headed and what you want to see in yourself. If you want love, start with you first, give back to yourself, share in your relationships. It doesn't have to be a love relationship. It can be a love relationship with friends. It can be a long-term friendship, familial friendship, or whatever it is to you, and even just keeping, maybe a lover somewhere in the past as a very close confidant, whatever that means to you until the timing is right. But I think at this time, just to improve your current situation, you need to shift your perspective and start to focus on what it is. Make a little list of what is important to you emotionally, what you would like to have happen, and then find a way to communicate that to yourself, as well as how you would communicate that to somebody else, to let them know this is what you're looking for. So stepping back so that you can step forward. The next card is health. And I should mention, health came up several times in this reading as well. So I feel that you are not taking care of yourself on some level. I don't know if that relates specifically to, maybe an overindulgence, over drinking, overeating, or something along that line. But there's something that needs your attention on the front of health. Well-being and self-care could again relate to how you speak to yourself and whether or not you're over-worrying, and but I do feel that you could be taking more physical and emotional and maybe some mental health breaks, that things that you need to do just to strengthen, and also just just overall, but your health, it speaks to something that you need to check out with your health anyway. But again, just moderation is the key for a lot of things. So good nutrition, lots of water, that kind of thing, lots of sleep, try to get outside, avoid toxic people, environments, and maintain, meditation or yoga, anything that relates to positive mindset, laugh with friends, that kind of thing is what comes up with health. But anything that will improve your current situation. So in regards to your health, don't procrastinate. It is time. That card is telling you to take some action there. So, again, just to let you know that came up several times. So please address it. Don't ignore it. I know a lot of times we put our health on the back burner because there's just not a lot of time for exercise. There's not a lot of time to focus on, overall well-being. Okay, so the next card is, these ones are just the deck of the, just regular cards, actually. Sorry, I just lost one of my cards here, but I will go through that here and again in a sec. So you've got the 4 of clubs, the 5, and the 9. So with those cards, the 4 of clubs actually speaks to a person. So this is somebody that I believe this could actually be you, because Aries is represented with the 4 of clubs. It's somebody who has a strong tendency to rule, somebody who's quite dominant, somebody who's well respected by friends and family and colleagues and that kind of thing. And this is also somebody who doesn't tend to enjoy assistance from others. But I do feel that this is you, again, coming through. I think you're a really independent type person. I feel that you often refuse help, and I think you have some difficulty maybe expressing your feelings, and maybe you emotionally repress some of that, which, is to your detriment, because it usually comes out in other ways that maybe either self-inflicted or imposed on others, and just leads to more confusing relationships down the road, and not healthy ones. So with the Five of Cups following that speaks to friction. So again, I think it's you going through some kind of friction here, some kind of a conflict. Again, I think it's you having maybe some high ideals where, some self-importance, that kind of thing, where you feel that things need to be a certain way. And I don't feel that you can look at life like that. I think that life will always let you down when you have some very rigid beliefs. It causes conflict with others, and certainly conflict can grow people, but only if you're ready to grow. So the underlying, I guess, premise of this is also it's envy. It's also a card that, speaks to jealousy, that kind of thing, in some way that might be a part of, whether it's someone else is jealous of you, or at work, in the workplace, or something along that line, but not to be too boastful. If you are the one that's doing well, just to rein that in. There's some degree of friction and conflict and things around envy as well. With the Nine of Hearts, it's the Wish card. It could represent a Pisces individual. It does promote the qualities of a Pisces, which would be, imagination, artistic, intuitive, generous, someone who's a humanitarian and maybe romantic by nature. But as a wish card, it is a card of luck. It is seen traditionally as a lucky omen card. So this is really about happiness that is in store for you. You're on the right path. I feel that you've helped other people in the past here, and there is some kind of karmic reward that's coming through with those cards. So again, still moving forward here. Those are general energies around the month of June. In June and into the first week of July, till about the July 10th time frame, 2020. Sorry, just had a little mishap with my cards. Some of them fell here, and I can't seem to locate the one that I need. But anyway, nonetheless, we'll get right back into the reading here. So we are looking at, I think I'll do the Harvest. These are the rune cards. So the rune cards are in the center here, and that is with, so Harvest. So the card here indicates it's not, this is about, roughly, it's a beginning stage of something. It does take time for things to harvest. It usually represents about a year time frame with this card. So before you're able to really gain any real balance and ground. So, perhaps this is on an emotional level, physical level, or maybe all of it together before you really start to see that success. But it is a card of encouragement. It's letting you know you are still just to persevere. And there was lots of cards again that speak to you persevering and being patient. So the outcome is that you will be successful, but again, this card is one of patience, and it's about you can't force things to harvest faster, because it's going to take the time it takes. It's going to be dependent on where you are in your life and in your mindset, and how quickly you choose to learn these lessons to progress. So that's really dependent on you. So the spiritual warrior here is number 15 in the rune cards, and this is a card about you battling with yourself. So it is, again, you getting out of your own way. It is about cutting away some of the old dead negative mindsets or things that might block you. It's about knowing that you have to be patient again with this card. The overall energy of the card really is one of keep looking within. because there is, the deepest core of yourself is where you're going to tap into these resources that you need that mold your character. So it is self-conquest, and it's really about this lifelong pursuit to bring you to a certain level of awareness, which is really important for you. It's that willingness to undergo that passage and to trust the way. This kind of perseverance is going to take some courage and dedication to heal yourself, but it is that struggle with yourself. It's struggle of the self with the self. And this is a card of warriors who in the past would paint symbols on their shields before battle, and that's pretty much the same idea. The same symbol strengthens your resolve in the struggle of the self with the self. So again, persevere. Know that there is a part of you that is on a perpetual journey of growth, as all of us are. But I think your journey is more so with conquering yourself and your own limitations. I feel that you are an action-oriented person. You're somebody who's quite successful in your own right, but I feel that emotionally, looking to others to heal or fulfill you, it should be more of a compliment to yourself versus a need for them to, and an expectation for them to be present and to do their job. I feel it's more, you need to find a way to look at them as, accept them for who they are, and as well as yourself, and be an addition to, in a coupleship of some sort, versus a what can they do for me attitude, I guess is maybe what I'm saying. So, okay, moving on to the next cards here. And again, as I mentioned, I lost track of where my card is. I'm just going to take a couple of seconds to find it. I have cats in the room, unfortunately, which have led to some movement on my tarot cards here. Okay, so moving back into the reading onto the new cards, which are, I think I'll go with the Muse cards first. So the Muse cards, I'll start with the Ace of Materials. I really like this deck. As I say, I think it's quite a pretty deck. I generally tend to like a lot of darker shades and colors, but something about this one is unique. Okay, so starting with the Ace of Materials. Aces, of course, are usually about changes. I do feel that there are quite a few aces in this reading, which indicate there are some changes for sure, exciting opportunities coming ahead for you. So there is an exciting new beginning, something that you're manifesting. Again, it's still the beginning stage, infancy of this, but there is a potential for massive prosperity and wealth that's coming ahead here. Again, not in this next 3-week period, but I feel those beginning stages are there. So you're preparing. That new potential needs to be worked on every day, setting a schedule. I don't feel that this is something that's foreign to you. I think you know how to get things done, but there is a lot of potential everywhere on many fronts for you, not just in the material realm here. But I feel that you've got some kind of new opportunity that you can take, and that you're thinking that you want to expand, and you want to start working on this opportunity. If you haven't already, I feel that it's still in some kind of infancy, as I say, but I feel that maybe you got a little sidetracked and haven't been working on it to any degree, but you should be starting that now in this next 3-week period. I feel that you're moving ahead with it. So, sorry, before I get to the wheel. Okay, so moving on to the wheel, and the wheel, of course, is similar to the Wheel of Fortune, where things are, moving into a new cycle. It's a positive omen card. This is a lucky time for you, is really what that card represents. And again, that's the Muse deck. But the But the wheel itself, as I say, it's a lucky time. It's, things, there's a lot of ups and downs with this wheel. I feel that you've been on as well. I feel that you have gone through some cycle of change but you've been there before. You've been on the up cycle. You've been on the down cycle. You've had reason to love. You've learned, some great things when you've had love in your life, and it felt full and expansive, and you want that back. But from time to time, you have to be in absence of those things to be able to appreciate and grow, because when you're accepting those high points, you never want to come down from that. But you need to learn how to rise and fall. You need to be able to find insight, because if love, as I say, is not challenged, it's stagnant. So spin that wheel of fate is basically what this card is letting you know is happening here, and that even though you're going through some difficult memories and there's some karmic discomfort, you're being healed. This is where you plant your lucky opportunities. This is where you're seeking good fortune, and things are starting to bubble up for you, and things are ready to be found here. So things are going to start moving ahead, but it's up to you to uncover them. I don't feel that you have quite uncovered the little nuggets that you need, but I feel that you are en route to finding those little nuggets. So the Five of Materials, again, the Five of Materials, this is a card about hardship and worry. I feel that you're stressed out about your safety, your security, or maybe it's a financial difficulty stressor, or a health struggle, or something to do with your shelter or scarcity. But it's really you imposing that on yourself. It's not, again, it's not that you can't handle it, because you have handled a lot with the Wheel of Fortune, or with the wheel. But there's also a reminder that the entrance out of this worry is very close. It's closer than you think. And that is a doorway of abundance that's about to happen. But you have to be able to accept it. You have to be willing to accept it, and that you're doing it with an open heart, which again, that was another aspect of this reading that was concurrent throughout, that you need to be able to be open to it. If you're not open to it, you're not going to see it. So you have to heal something with your health and your wealth and desires, and trying to merge them all together so that they balance. But you also need to find some nuggets in yourself to be able to find that hope. So again, even though that hope seems so remote at this stage, you are moving to, it's just a dim light, but there is light, and you are very close to that doorway. Okay, so moving into the see if I can reach this here. Okay, so this is the Four of Inspiration. So the Four of Inspiration, of course, is all about that. So it's all about finding the inspiration to kind of move forward again here and expand. So with the Four of Inspiration, I don't know if that's coming through clear enough there. It's a little faint on my end, but with that card, it's really about events. Fours are about balance. So it's really about events and gatherings, and with friends or family, a celebration, happiness, marriage, or some other milestone, something that's really important to you, something that stabilizes you with this union of people. And so maybe there's some tears of joy that's involved here, but either way, it's some kind of inspiration that is letting you know, honor those moments, because those moments with friends and family and learning to celebrate our achievements are the things that we will remember and mark as junctures of our ascension, our joyfulness, our stability. It's the things that connect us to community. It's the things that bring about our memories that we attach ourselves to. So it's the glue, as they say, of your story. So the Four of Inspiration is about you realizing that this moment that you're celebrating with people is more than just a celebration and a moment. It's actually becoming a part of your story. It's becoming a part of your memories. It's something that you will reflect on at a later time. So really important, whatever it is, whatever this gathering is that you're getting together with other people to celebrate in the month of June to early July. So the Three of Voices, again with the Three of Voices, I mean, this could really be, I also wanted to just quickly mention that I felt that you weren't able to express yourself very openly and communicate well in this month. I felt that you were holding a lot of emotions within. So this is about painful separation, heartbreak, sorrow, loss, unexpected letdowns, things that hurt you, words, things where you weren't feeling, you were, again, it could even be that relationship ending, but there's pain, there's some kind of wounding, disappointment. You might even be starting to realize what it is that hurt you, or where the void is, where you feel empty, where that wanting is, where things are inconsistent, where you're starting to feel, some sense of despair. But that painful separation, sometimes that you're going through right now, can be indicative of a previous separation and how that felt. And maybe you're magnifying it by doing something in comparison to that initial separation. But you have to trust in your intuition here. This is a card that's also letting you know that you will have the ability to heal yourself. You will, so long as you're listening to your intuition, you will find that happiness again. It's healing you. So something from the present separation is relating to your past separation, or some emptiness. If there's some kind of parallel there, but it is allowing you to heal. Whatever is in the present is allowing you to heal something from the past, because maybe it wasn't something you looked at before. Maybe there was a new strength that came out of it. But this is the Two of Voices anyway. So with the Two of Voices, this is, again, I feel you're finding your voice again. There was some indecision with the Two of Voices. I feel that there was a couple of choices, ways to go. I feel that you felt between a rock and a hard place, not really sure which option to take. One leads to the future. The other is maybe a fading away from the past. And even though it was potential without form, meaning you had this whole picture in your head of where things were going to go, but it didn't have any real form. It didn't really have a bedrock. It didn't have any place to go. A lot of things were just in the mind. So just as a quick note, according to this deck as well, even rocks and hard places contain energy that can be moved. So sometimes it must be walked through. It's important to note the places that you need to heal so that you're stronger. You are still on the right path with this card. You're taking the right steps. And I feel that you will make the right step for progress, and that it's made with love. So always leading to, a place of transformation is the right decision. So wherever you transform is the right path. Okay, so moving on past that, we are into I think I'll go into the other new deck, which is the Chakra Wisdom deck by Tori Hartman. I like these, the brightness of the images as well. So with the Knight of Swords, Knights are again all about movement and messages coming through as well. But this Knight of Swords are all about the mind. So there's a lot of action going on there, intellectually or mental anguish, things along that line. But this card in particular is about letting you know, don't wait. This is somebody who rushes in with no emotion. If we're talking about a person, it can be somebody who rushes in with little or no emotion and just has a result or an answer, has an intention in mind and wants to get something done, set things into motion. But I feel for you, this card is really more about a message coming through to communicate, and that the action is to communicate. So things may not resolve in the way that you'd like, but at least they'll be complete. So this is where you are attempting to understand your present situation. So you want to look back, according to this deck, 90 days, and wherever you were, then is where the knight began his journey. So it's a card of intelligence, assertiveness, feeling tense. Somebody can be quick thinking, but it's also a time to allow yourself to allow that ending, because it's coming about with a better outcome for you. So according to this card, you're revealing, the action is revealing what is for the highest good here. So the ending seems to be necessary, or at least ending in the way that it was viewed or started. Whatever, maybe there's some kind of new realization in the way that the two of you need to deal with something, but I feel that it's a revelation of sorts to shift perspective and change it from the way that it was being dealt with before. Maybe you did move in with this person and you moved out, and now you're stepping back and just taking it slow. That could be another way of looking at it as well. But here's the other following card with that, which is the Ace of Wands. This is a card of confident creativity. So it's inspired movement forward in terms of dreams and goals. So your path is being illuminated here as to the next steps that you'll be needing to take. But the idea of this card is, let's go. You've got to take some bold movements. You've got to nurture what's going on here. To take advantage of the opportunity that is coming, and it's a time for emerging. You've got to start, expanding and take advantage of these possibilities that are coming up, because it's a gift, it's a mysterious adventure. It's a time that you're ready. I think you're ready for this new adventure as well. I think you need to have some kind of a change. You're ready for a new start. You're magnetizing at a higher frequency here as well, and you're just ready with wands. Wands are all about movement and energy, so I feel that you are actually starting to take some action here in the month of June. I think most of it's an inward journey, but I do feel that you've got some positive movement, because the 2s and 4s are all about seeking balance as well. And with the 4 of Wands here, this is really a card of your heart's joy. So I feel that you're looking back on your accomplishments here. I think that you're looking at the journey ahead and some of the new challenges that you have to face, but you are looking at a new life here. I think that it's about a coming into bloom. So this is something you're ready and preparing for, but I also feel that it's a question to yourself: how good do you want your life to get? Because being able to expand and anticipate, amazing things and find that sense of home and that sense of awakening, again, you have to go inside and tap into your resources and find out what creates happiness around your true spirit. So what would the world look like if you were happy inside, and externally, what would it look like? And what would you see in your environment? So you need to open up your heart to those things, to that life change, and to be involved with your community, and see where you are and where you're at, where you want to be. It's all of those things. So again, it's the inner soul searching, but it's also about prioritizing it and writing it down and figuring out how you want everything to actually look. And it doesn't have to be exactly picture perfect, but so long as you can get some experience of the emotions, because that's really all we tend to remember in the end anyway, is the emotions that something brought us, how it felt in that moment when you went to a castle, or how it felt in that moment to hold somebody's hand by the water, or how it felt So everything is emotional, very emotionally driven, especially for you. Even though you may not be aware of your own emotions, I think you're becoming more aware of your emotions through each of these wheels of highs and lows, which I don't think you were comfortable with. And again, that's where the Tower sort of comes up here. You know, your current thinking about things is, you know, kind of burns you a little bit. But remember, this is a card of don't do any harm. Don't do any harm to yourself or to others. It's about letting you know things can be repaired. It's not too late. Changes have to be made, however. So again, maybe in terms of that relationship situation, maybe you were doing a move out situation, but it's not necessarily that it's over, because you might be just stepping back, giving each other space. Timing is a big part of that situation. And I feel that you're reconsidering, you know, reconnecting maybe what's left behind, and or maybe you are taking a whole fresh new direction, but it's some kind of do-over or completion. But it can also indicate a reconciliation with the Tower here. But it can speak to a destruction of what an unwise emotional choice can produce. So just be aware of that. So there was some kind of a shakeup, some kind of a Tower moment, something that threw you off balance here. But again, it can be salvaged. Either you're going to, depending on whatever the situation was for you, if it was irreparable on some level, you know, perhaps you are just completely letting it go. But it does speak to, again, spiritual healing, self-forgiveness, you know, kind of a recovery after a fall. But it's all about being able to, a warning card and some kind of emerging truth, I think, within you is really what's coming through on that one. There's some kind of profound transformation, something that you're rethinking here to be able to go forward. So the Empress, these are all major arcana cards too. So, and that's really significant. So so they're bigger events on some emotional level here that you're enduring. The Empress is, of course, you know, it's a time of creativity. It's somebody who's quite, can represent an emotional, nurturing mother energy, but it's a really strong card as well. The Empress, it's a very compassionate person. So this could indicate you or someone around you, but it also represents deep emotional issues. So things that are, you know, things that are maybe underdeveloped in terms of a relationship, but it does speak to, you know, love and safety and trust and empathy and kindness and commitment. So really this card is one of compassion. It does symbolize a Venus energy as well, with compassion and kindness, but it's also letting you know that what is it that you love and enjoy to do with this card? You know, this is a time to explore those ideas. With this particular deck, it's not the traditional Empress meanings. So when you know who you are and what it is that your heart desires, this is the message that comes through, is you'll learn to be able to communicate it. You know, and it's a powerful thing to be able to communicate what you want and what you require to feel whole. So again, it doesn't have to be, a lot of our wholeness comes from within, but other people can add to that. I don't feel that we should ever put on or impress upon another all that makes us feel worthy. So I think it's important just to remember to stay abundant, to stay self-compassionate, all of those things. Okay, so this one is Princess of Coins. Princess of Coins. This one really speaks to practical solutions. So it's really, it's one of physical manifestation. It does imply wealth. It's about being realistic in whatever your solutions are, and just to stay focused. It's also a card that's, you know, bringing some realism to your goals or dreams. So But it is a card that's with this particular deck that speaks of, if you were rejected, it's not an attack. It's an opportunity to review what you have created. And it's a card saying, not ready yet. So stay open to loving feedback is what the card indicates, and materializing with practical solutions and determination. And there's a bridge here with this card. You just need to breathe and cross the bridge. So it's a card of not yet. You're not yet ready for something. But what you are looking for is very close. But you have to be willing to allow it into your heart. So I feel that you've taken a chance with something and you tried to allow it into your heart, but there was something that was still missing within you, and you were looking for something to fill that gap rather than add to it. I think that you need to heal that part of yourself first, and maybe there will be a reconciliation of some sort, but the way in which you were dealing with something in the past has ended. So moving on to the next deck, which would be, actually I'll do the Rihanna. Yeah, I'll do the Rihanna Sorceress. So you are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. So I feel that you have learned a lot of lessons in life to be able to manifest so strongly. But again, it doesn't mean in all areas. We all have lessons to learn. But this is really someone who has had many lifetimes of, being in strong positions. And I feel that this is a large part of that power is coming from our past, or it's not just I think, previous lifetimes past as well. But I feel that you are allowing things to stir from, dormancy, from your memories. You're recalling times now, and you're able to draw upon that to use it in a powerful way so that you can resume that mission again. So something about, whatever misdeeds of the past were taking place is now allowing you to get back on track and start to accomplish again. So it's about having absolute faith that you are on the right track and making clear decisions. It's about putting the energy behind it, because when you win, others win as well. So you want to keep your thoughts focused on what you're desiring and away from fear. You do have the ability to make that happen. You have a lot of strong, powerful gifts. So with Butterfly Maiden, it looks like you are moving into, over the next few weeks, you're coming up with some transformations. You're coming into some realizations. You're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So as you go through this period, know that your future is safe and that you're all allowing some of those old parts to fall away. Celebrate those opportunities that you did have, and the chances that you did have to have such great memories, but also allow yourself to be open to embrace new possibilities. Anything that was painful is just because you have to let go of something that you wanted to let linger, but you can't. We are here for many experiences, and those experiences have to be constantly, even though we get attached to it, we have to constantly be willing to follow the wheel and ride the cycle toward the next experience. So the low is in the period when we're trying to learn something, and then we come up and rise again and transform. So don't be concerned about the endings, is what this card is talking about, because something new is coming in for you. Your prayers have been answered. So you're letting go of the old, and it's for the best. So don't worry about any of these changes that are taking place, because they are all for the right reason, because you are moving into a much far stronger place. Because when you think about it, would you want something that is just going to bring you years of adequate love or adequate success? Or do you want to be able to ride the highs and lows, learn things along the way which make you a better master? So the next card is Sisters of the Seasons. So cycles of growth, natural law, divine order. This is reminding you that there's a higher law at place here. There is birth, growth, harvest, and decay, and that can't be changed. That is that natural course of events. But there is success that's assured, but you have to go through all the seasons. You have to go through all of that, as I mentioned with the wheel, to be able to get to the other side. You just can't go from, sadness to immediate happiness. There has to be cycles of growth that move you toward that, so that you can identify what you're appreciative of. So it's a good place, a good period right now to start new things. You're moving out of, you've made a decision of some sort, and you're moving out of that dark or wintry phase, and you're moving into spring, so to speak. So just be patient again with this card. Opportunities are coming your way. There's going to be periods where things slow down and then they start again, and then they slow down, and then there's, that perpetual movement. But every moment counts right now. So make sure that you have some kind of a path laid out, and it doesn't have to be that you adhere to it 100%, but so long as you are able to have some kind of structure in place to be able to get to your mark, which is the Arrow Master. So you have to have some kind of intention. You have to have some kind of ability to shoot for the stars, and this is really a card that's letting you know that that deliberate focus towards your intention or your dream, whatever that dream is for you, whether it's fortune or whether it is or to have it all, in terms of love, stability, security, happy relationships, all of that. You have to have a deliberate intention. Now, a lot of things don't happen at the same time, which is unfortunate, but I don't think that you can have it all exactly at the same time. I think everything has to be worked on and supported, and then you move on to the next thing and the next thing. And I think that sometimes there will always feel like something is a little out of balance, and that's okay. Because you're really just aligning yourself with your intention and your goals and with spirit, and you are following a path that is right for you. It doesn't have to fall into place, everything all at one time, because that would be boring and stagnant, and it doesn't mean growth. So I think it's okay to veer off into different directions at different times, but making sure that you stay focused on one thing at a time, so you develop enough roots and foundations that there's a strong enough structure that it doesn't go away or change out of your control. I still feel that you still have some influence over those other areas, but you're just shifting your focus so as to strengthen another area. So if you don't shoot, you'll never score, and this is just a card to remember to stay on point. Okay, so now I will get to almost to the career and finance aspect, but we'll move into Spark. So these are the last, not the very last cards. There's the advice cards, the financial cards, and then there is the Enchanted Forest map cards, which is what I will start with right now, which is the Spark card. So Spark is really a card that's letting you know you're clear. You've got a clear channel to the divine, for that optimism, that hope. You have a reason for that to come through right now. You're allowing yourself to be inspired. You're allowing yourself to, allowing life to show its beauty to you, and that you're a part of that co-creating. So this is that time for you to give birth to a new idea, shift your perspective on a relationship, or start a new relationship or a new job. But it's about beginning some kind of new endeavor here. You have the ability to attract others in a really strong way, and that's also what this card speaks to. And you are the one that's co-creating these joyous experiences. So if you find joy in it, you're going to be able to create joy in it. If you find, misery in something, you're going to be co-creating misery. So just watch where your spark is, and, put the flame to the things that give you some sense of peace and gratification, something that you want to back, something that you want in your life, something you support. Okay, so coming apart, again, this one speaks to that separation. So I did feel, as I said, there was some kind of a separation of some sort. You're taking those separate paths, but again, it could be maybe a timeout. It could be just putting an end to and shifting your perspective, putting an end to something that wasn't working, something that a commitment of some sort, whether it was broken or not. It was a need to change course with this card. So again, with the coming apart, you're changing course, you're shifting perspective, you're letting go of something that wasn't working entirely, but you can handle it. It's a card that it's the perfect time to, again, start reassessing goals and your values, get in alignment with the things that you believe, and about, things that get rid of some of your fears, and challenge those fears, because it is the price that you have to pay for it. It's the price that you have to pay and able to get to where you need to be. So beyond that, we're looking at listening. Listening is the next part of that. So you need to be able to listen, and what is said in the moment. There's a deeper message here, just to listen with your heart and not just your ears. So it's a fortunate sign. It's about you allowing greater understanding to come through, and it's not a time for you to speak. Just be silent and pay attention to what's not being spoken. But again, being ready to communicate in the areas that once you have realized where you need to communicate, where you need to head. The next card is slow and steady. And slow and steady speaks to just that. It's about you needing to be patient, not move charging ahead. It is about unhurried steps, steady heart, trusting that taking life at a more leisurely pace is what will give you greater access and to your dreams. It's about slowing down and allowing more contact with the things that you want. So I'll read the advice cards at the very end. I think we're just going to jump right into the financial aspect of the reading here. So sorry for the interruption there. I have movement around me at all times. So, okay, so the next card, again, this is relating to the financial aspect. So I've got the Hierophant, which usually represents tradition. I mean, this is somebody, can represent a person, somebody who's a guru or conservative or wise, somebody who's very traditional, institutional, as I say, conservative, and it could even be a religious characterization or education, anything that relates to that institutional nature. It can even represent, even a marriage of some sort, because that's also institutional, large corporations. So in terms of career, I would say in this front, it might be related to your workplace that is somehow there's something to do with the conservative traditional nature of it. Also speaks to divine inspiration, I should mention as well. But I feel in terms of career, there's some established way of doing things here, but it was clarified with the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is really information, things are not brought to the forefront here. So something relating around your work can represent a Virgo energy, could be a person as well, but something around your work with the High Priest, with the Hierophant, I feel is either requiring more learning, higher wisdom, or that there's some kind of, where you're developing your talents. And I do feel that actually does seem to be more a part of it, that you are developing some talents here. But there's some kind of silent potential that's not quite, something hasn't been quite revealed. And it could be in a positive way here too. It's a card of protection, both of these cards as well. But there's something that is not been quite brought to the surface here yet. So I do feel that it's also a card of pausing and reflecting. And again, with the Hierophant, that can be that teacher of wisdom. So there's but I feel in this case, I'm just trying to get the feel of what's happening here. I feel you're still being conservative. You're still dealing with some kind of a corporation. I still feel that you're developing something. I don't feel that it's fully been manifested yet. I feel this next card is you. I feel that you are the Queen of Pentacles here. The Queen of Pentacles is, of course, somebody who is grounded and, somebody who cares about those who are around them and tries to, offer a lot of help and insight, and somebody who's practical in nature, somebody who's home-loving and nurturing, security-minded, somebody who's quite creative and resourceful when they need to be. It does speak to success in business as well, but it's a multitasker. It's somebody who is quite supportive of family, but very established kind of a person here. So definitely somebody who knows about money, studies money, or at least has money knowledge in terms of how to be financially secure, and somebody knows how to find practical solutions to problems. So again, I feel you're still developing some kind of a talent here. You do have the Six of Pentacles. And again, with the Six of Pentacles, you've got a few of these cards as well that speak to some replication here. But with the Six of Pentacles, I do feel that you have, and it's again clarified with the Ace of Pentacles, so there's some kind of a new start or something that's coming through with that. But with the Six of Pentacles, I feel that you have some sense of reciprocity, meaning maybe you're getting, money that's being given to you, or you're, able to help somebody else out. But I do feel that there's, with the Six and with the Six of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, I just feel that there is some kind of a gift that's coming through here. Again, it could be a karmic debt or something that was paid off that you're now receiving some kind of a reward for, or some kind of a benefit for. But it's a time of abundance. So there's something that's coming through for you that's going to benefit you in the month of, from the June 15th time frame, in this next 3-week period, probably in the early week or so, week to 10 days kind of range, with that Six of Pentacles from June 15th onward. But there's something that's going to be opportunistic, a good time for you, something that even with school, this can also speak to some kind of a scholarship or some money flowing through at some point there. But it's a prosperous time for you. And again, with the Ace of Pentacles, I feel that this is something that is, it's a new kind of energy here with that Ace of Pentacles. So it's something new that's starting, whether it's a new job, or maybe you've got some kind of something lands in your lap here, but something that it just feels like it's a gift, something that's landing in your lap, something that is helping you to feel secure. Something that you learn about that is helping you to feel secure. Maybe it's an idea or something that's coming forward, but either way, it is some sense of abundance or something that makes you feel secure. So it's very good in that first week to 10 days of June. So I've got the Seven of Wands and we've got the 10 of Swords. Now there's a couple of 10s in here, but usually begin and ending of a cycle. But with the Seven of Wands, I mean, there's some energy here that you're feeling you need to defend yourself. I don't feel that it's anything, again, too detrimental or anything to you. With the Seven of Wands, it's really just about you protecting something you feel you need to protect. It's just about your own self-doubt or fears. You're just feeling vulnerable for some reason, but it is a time for you to stand your ground and speak up for yourself in terms of, the workplace, because I feel it's a battle that you can win. But I do feel that you feel the odds are against you here. You feel that, you are, you feel as though it's a pointless battle. Somebody's being aggressive on you, that you're out of your comfort zone here. Something's forcing you to feel as though you've lost some of your footing. And I feel like it's a threat that it's unfounded. I feel that you're beating others out, whether it's you going for a job and feeling that you won't get it, but there is some kind of new opportunity here. Again, with the Ace of Pentacles that's coming through, that's going to lead you to money, something that's coming for you. It's given to you, for you. It was intended for you. It's extra income of some sort, but you're still feeling some kind of strong determination to, whether it's in work or education, but to stand out in some way. You're feeling like you need to be, to develop something that makes you stand out. Not sure how that is going to manifest, but again, it's just that feeling that you need to get your point across, or that you're being misunderstood, or that there's a feeling that you need to assert yourself. So you might be at odds with your peers, or something along that line, but either way, with it clarified with the Ten of Swords, I feel that it is it's coming to an end, whatever this is. So, but there is still something positive in terms of money that's coming in towards you. But with the Ten of Swords, there's a turning point here. So I feel it's a win for you, but it's a turning point. You don't feel like, normally with the Ten of Swords, you feel like some kind of a victim, but I don't feel that you are the victim here. I feel you feel that way, but I don't feel that you are the victim here. I think there's a little bit of melodramatic feelings. Maybe someone else is causing you drama, a toxic energy. But, in terms of business, it could indicate some kind of, again, feeling that you need to compete for a position, but I don't feel like you have any issues there. You're just not in that position to lose. I think that you're really just feeling like you need to be a warrior of sorts. And again, that's probably about the middle to, or well, I'd say probably middle to end of June is where these next few cards will fall. With the Temperance card, you also have, the Temperance card is one of being patient. Again, it's a major arcana card, and you do have quite a few, so June for sure is quite significant to you. You have a lot of turning points here. But I feel with the Temperance card, it's also a card of protection. I do feel that you have angel protection. I do feel that you are to be patient. I feel you are going through some kind of a transition. I feel that there is some sense of, because you've got the Judgment card coming through here with the Hermit, that you're doing a lot of self-introspection, and that it's necessary that you be patient with yourself and with others. I don't feel that you need to be as defensive or on guard as you feel you need to be, because as I said, I feel that you're winning out whatever this is. You just need to heal as well with this card. It is a card of miracles and synchronicity. It's the universe trying to line things up, so you do gain with this clarifier with the Nine of Pentacles, so that you do gain financially. You might be feeling a little bit melancholy. You might be feeling a little bit less intense, a little sad, somewhere in about this middle end here, and defensive, but again, it's clarified with the Nine of Pentacles. So whatever this period was, it's helping you to feel more independent. It's bringing through some success financially for you. There is some kind of money that's being gifted to you, or that's coming in for you, that is really going to help you out here. I do feel with the Nine of Pentacles that some kind of mission has been accomplished, whether you were trying to stabilize yourself financially or create some kind of mastery in your life. It's also a card of independence, that you don't feel you need to be rushed and to settle down. I think you still want to be connected to somebody, but I feel that in terms of settling down, I don't know that you're fully ready for that yet. I think that you will come to those realizations as the months move along here. But either way, as I say, because you're moving into the Hermit energy following this, that's why I say that. So there is also job promotion that's usually recognized with the Nine of Pentacles, but it can, again, I feel that there's money that's coming through here on some scale that helps you to feel more secure anyway. And just to be patient. So, but it's also about self-accomplishment, and I do feel new learning is still coming through with this as well. So maybe some of you are still in school, or you're still in a job where you're still learning new things. With the Page of Pentacles, because with the Nine of Pentacles, it's somebody who really feels confident and likes their own company, but also enjoys that independence. But with the Page of Pentacles, we're looking at somebody who has money that could be coming through even through an inheritance as well. Something that's being given to you, but it's a new course of study as well. It can be dreams turning into reality because you've got that entrepreneurial spirit, and now is the time to act on that as well if you are thinking along that line. It does represent an Aries, Taurus, Gemini energy, so again, it can have the qualities of either of these, doesn't have to be though. But the Page of Pentacles as a person is somebody who's studious and ambitious and energetic, appreciates study, and definitely a creative time, but scholarship also coming through. So I really feel strong education here, or new learning. I do feel that this is also about a period of reflection. Sorry. But it's also about getting practical and seeing windows of opportunity and taking advantage of that. And I do feel that you will, because there are rewards that are coming through for you, and you are being practical. You're paying off loans. You're sending out applications. This is all a time that encompasses that. With the Page of Pentacles, you're learning, you're growing. You're financially responsible. You know how to make things go further. So this is really a good card. And again, very grounded, somebody who's a doer here. So this is also, just wanted to see if how many pages we actually had in the reading here. Actually, I guess that was the only page here. But yeah, either way, I still feel like there's some money coming through here or being gifted to you, because you also have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups does speak to, again, new things, new relationships, universal blessing, trusting your intuition, awareness of something new that's coming through. Can be a desire for a deeper connection, but it's also feelings being intensified at this time. So with that new learning, it's creating a really strong sense of unity and happy news and new opportunity and new projects. It is also about, as I said, intense feelings, and whether it was because of a new baby or a new job, although I didn't necessarily see a lot of cards close to that specifically, but I would to say at this time that it is something new that's beginning. It's some kind of gift that's coming in from the universe, new awareness, new ideas. It is something relating to healing as well, but it's happiness, something that's bringing you happiness. And again, it's a blessing from the universe that's being gifted to you. So money definitely coming through, definitely new learning, whether it's on the job or in a structured setting with school, which it could very well be, given the corporation card or institution at the beginning there. We also have the Judgment and the Hermit card, and this is really just looking inward regarding your self-actions, or yourself and your actions. And it's giving something a lot of thought that will change you. So you're not doing an awful lot in regards to whatever it is you're healing from. You're doing internal work. It's the action that's being taken within yourself. So again, there's still a lot of healing, not a lot of like wands energy and get up and go type action yet. A lot of it's still cerebral. And it's still in that gestational stage, but definitely I do feel money coming in for the month of, as I read further along here with the cards, I'm able to see that now, but that you have money of some sort that's coming through toward the end of probably that first week of July, or the end of June. But you have the the Sun card, and it was clarified by the 8 of Swords and the 3 of Cups. So there was some self-sabotage going on here, because with the Sun, the Sun card is something that's bringing you happiness, something that makes you feel, happy and secure, and you're at a positive energy all around with the Sun card. So it's you feeling illuminated and inspired again, and confident, and feeling like you've got this boost of good luck, and you're sharing it possibly. But you are somehow the center, or feel like you're the center of the universe again. You're stable again. Maybe it's from this gift of the universe that's coming through, or this gift of money, or whatever it is, this new awareness or new sense of something that's coming through for you that's making you feel happy with the Sun card. So again, this card is just about that excitement, that unexpectedness, that boost of good luck, and that includes with business endeavors as well. So something is making you feel happy here toward the end of June, early July, and it's giving you a lot of confidence. So it does make you feel as though you're accomplished, period. So again, it's a Leo energy here coming through with the sun. Doesn't have to be, but again, it's maybe a Leo person that's also influencing here. But you also could be finding that their success is coming through with a business that you do, or that you're involved with. Sorry, and with the with the Eight of Swords, you're walking away from, or you're moving away from difficulties. So the Eight of Swords is really about that time of transition and self-sabotage too. So again, whatever whatever self-sabotage you were doing, or those mental conflicts that you were, feeling victimized about, or stuck, or that you felt restricted in some way, that you lacked direction, or whatever it was, maybe it was sickness or injury or some kind of bad news, you've gotten past that because, again, you're feeling happy here. You've gotten past it with the eights. Eights are all about moving beyond that. Where you were feeling fenced in and scattered, and powerless and victimized, you're not in that self-imposed misery anymore. You're able to escape it. So again, that one's self-imposed because you definitely can move past it here. She's only loosely bound. There in no way is she really trapped. And it's also followed by the Three of Cups, so you definitely move past it. Three of Cups means you've got other people that are supportive around you as well, that are helping you to feel and celebrate. You're trusting in others. There's that reunion, there's abundance, there's victory, there's happiness. As I say, it's about that you're receiving things. You're focusing on success here with this card. You're able to enjoy the fruits of your labors. It's hard-earned. Things were more than you expected it to be. That's made you happy here. And you're still spending wisely, but I do feel that you've got achievement and that there is some kind of abundance and healing that's coming through, and you're able to share that with other people in your social network, in your social group. So that is most of the reading, except for the advice cards and the very last ones, just toward the end here. Ten of Pentacles was reversed. Again, I felt there was some sense of loss, not necessarily on the money front here, given what what I'm able to go through with the rest of the reading. But with the Ten of Pentacles, I feel that it could have been a loss of something else in your happiness, something that gave you a sense of security here, that you felt slipped away from you. Maybe you struggled with that feeling of numbness or something along that line in terms of love. But I just feel that it's a blockage that you're moving past here anyway, because you have gone inward, and as well, it's coupled with the Eight of Cups. So again, that's a time of transition. So you're still continuing to change here. There's still financial reward that's coming through. But I feel that inside you felt vulnerable, and that change of some sort here did occur, and that it wasn't comfortable, whatever that change was, but it somehow has benefited you. So, and it's a card that's reminding you that there is long-lasting security that goes with that. But you didn't come to it right away, because you did have to go through that Four of Swords moment. And the Four of Swords, as I said, is a time of healing and rest and pulling back. It's a time of being alone and just that constructive retreat. And again, I mean, it could have spoken to some kind of an illness where there was a forced rest or a hospital stay or something along that line. But I feel it was you reevaluated something before you proceeded, and that you made whatever amendments needed to be made. You were disciplined in reviewing your situation, and you were taking stock of everything that was going on for you with the Four of Swords here. And I feel that it was a healthy seclusion, for you to rest and recuperate. So overall, I do feel there was a realization. You have several fours here too, I believe. but with the fours and with the eights, because that, again, that's still a number of eight. You may be feeling drained or exhausted and needing to self-heal, but with the realization of a goal, and you're waiting for the time for it to be just right with the Four of Swords. And again, once you move into the Eight of Cups energy, the Eight of Cups is you transitioning. So you've made the transition. You're headed out of any disparity or any feeling of unhappiness or restriction. You've moved off into a new direction with the Eight of Cups, and again, restored balance. You might have been overprotective or cautious, and not appreciating maybe what you even had. But again, the card is about going after what you want, learn to seize the day, regenerate, go within, find your missing links, don't be vulnerable, or at least when you do feel vulnerable, go deeper to, contemplate where those dissatisfactions are, and try not to divide yourself up in too many places so that you feel a sense of imbalance. I feel you need to find deeper meaning when you are in harmony, meaning you see yourself as a whole person. So it's okay to explore those different aspects of ourselves, but just to remember you're on that journey of personal development here, which also leads to big changes coming with the the Eight of Cups. But just know that that journey of self-discovery is there for you to mature as a spiritual soul. So you're leaving behind difficult situations. You're walking away from commitments or lack of commitments, or places where you just didn't feel appreciated, or that you didn't appreciate what you had, in lieu of a new direction that is helping you to feel like you're not abandoned. You're coming back into yourself, finding that position of power. So overall, really good. Last cards are just those that relate to the outcome of advice. So we have several. You've got Leap of Faith, you've got Four of Ariel, Queen of Ariel, Nine of Michael, and the Four of Raphael. So I'll just read them individually here. So again, this is just pretty straightforward. Leap of faith, believe in yourself, listen to your heart, do what gives you joy. So the card is basically the equivalent of the Fool here. So it's just a time for you to, encourage you on that new path. There's excitement, there's wonder to starting new things. It's any kind of new opportunity is an evolution, for you to evolve and grow as a soul, as a human being that is unlimited. And you have to believe in yourselves and want that happier life to be able to keep moving. So you have to keep in the forefront of your mind what you're really after here. So you can always ask for assistance through your guides or your ancestors, or those who have passed, or spirit, or God, or whatever it is to you that has that you resonate with. But it's a card, again, researching, be proactive, be self-confident. Don't let anything hold you back toward the things that will give you joy. You know what joy has felt like. You've had plenty of moments in that space, and there's no reason why it can't happen again. So the next card is the Four of Ariel. When you give, you also receive, being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money. So the Four of Ariel is about when you give, you also receive. So it is a reminder that financial gain and resources need to be shared. So again, maybe this is because money is coming into you, that you are supposed to look after those that are around you in some way, because that really furthers your abundance. Instead of just hanging on to money, sometimes it's wise to involve other people on your abundance so that it's a shared memory. It becomes more meaningful when you engage in travels or experiences or outings with other people. It becomes, as I say, memories, moments that upon our death, when that time comes in the distant future, those are the things that you reflect upon, are all of our memories and what we saw, not our individual memories I mean, for sure, individual experiences and maybe awareness where we wake up and really start to see things in a new way is as important. But we are very social creatures by nature. And so even when we're introverts, we're still very social creatures. We still have to interact with people on lots of levels, work sphere, etc. So again, this is just a card of just being aware. Don't let your fears limit your actions, and be willing to share whatever talents or gifts that you have with those around you. So it could be a little sense of you trying to over control things, and saving for a rainy day is still a good thing to do. But again, shared experiences is also coming through. So, and I do feel that you will, because there was a Three of Cups in there as well toward the end. You've got the Queen of Ariel, and this is about nurturing yourself and those you love, the ability to make anything more beautiful, practical, and wise advice. So again, this is really about a person, I feel, which is you, somebody who is mature. Doesn't mean mature as in age, can be just mature as in mindset, just in the kind of person that you are and the way that you think. But it's about nurturing yourself and those around you, and taking that quality time with people that you care about. So it's also about seeing things, truthfully and clearly. And again, not to forget to take care of yourself. And everything becomes more beautiful when you know that you're doing the right things by sharing, your warmth and your kindness. It doesn't always have to be money, but be that talented gardener. Okay, last two cards. Sorry, just when my voice is about to give out. So we also have the Nine of Michael here, and the Nine of Michael, nines are all about action as well. So your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire and release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. So it's a card of worst case scenarios. All of that's self-punishment or negative thinking. Release all of those feelings of regret and guilt and anxiety. Release that all, because it's you shifting your perspective here is what you're doing. You're refocusing. You're trying to get back on task. It's a card of a lot of that stuff isn't likely to come true, because it's just you up in your head, thinking about outcomes that haven't even really manifested. And so again, a lot of times we have those darkest thoughts before there's about to be a dawning. But you're questioning past choices here and trying to stress yourself out unnecessarily. So the Four of Raphael, and again, you've got lots of cards here that relate to the fours, and that's all about seeking balance. So I just wanted to see how many fours you actually had in here, because I think there were 3 of them. But either way, it is also about energies and influences being heightened. So there's lots of stability and lots of hard work and determination that's coming through with a lot of the fours. But it's about family and friends and all of that with fours as well. But it's about passion and ambition. So again, you've got some really strong cards speaking to things moving ahead for you. And again, with the Four of Raphael, I do feel that just see here, the Four of Raphael, sorry, there it is. You're seeking out other possibilities. You're looking for the magic in life, but be aware of your emotions. So again, there's a lot of options that are coming through you may not be aware of, because your focus sometimes can be too narrow and you're not seeing them. But again, through most of the reading, it was also about keeping your heart open, because sometimes when we close ourselves off, when we've been hurt, when really if we keep ourselves a little more open, you will see that there is a chance for enlightenment or transformation or another way, another road. A lot of that's just disillusionment that you feel is around you, but it's really meant to urge you into that self-reflection so it can lead you to a happier life. So it's being aware of your emotions, taking things for granted, missing the point here, just expecting things to be a certain way when in actual fact, it doesn't have to be the way that you envision it. You just need to go forward with your vision and allow the lessons to unfold as they will, because it is the right path. So again, I just want to see how many fours we have here. 1, 2. I thought there was more than just that, but we don't know. Yeah, okay. So we do have just the 2 fours here. No, 3 fours, sorry. 4 of Raphael and the 4 of Ariel, and then the 4 of Swords. Just taking, oh, and you also have the 4 of Wands up here. So again, with the fours, I feel like you have a lot of struggle emotionally to go through, but I feel that you've got a happy life ahead of you for a very extended period of time, but you're not seeing it yet. You will not experience the negativity and the stress once you found this newfound peace. Because what I'm saying is that it won't be difficult for you to maintain it because you've got so many fours. I don't think it's going to be difficult for you to maintain it once you have gotten to that place of contentment. I just think right now you're still just trying to piece together a lot of the nuggets. I feel that you're very close to doing that, though. I feel that there's a lot of, you've made a lot of progress over the last few years. Emotionally, I feel that you have a lot of other gifts on another front as well, of course, but I feel emotionally, I think that's where you were held back in some ways. Sometimes we get so set in moving ahead that we don't stop to consider all the places that maybe needed a little more contemplation, needed a little more room to expand. So anyway, that is the gist of the reading here. Again, just a really quick synopsis. I felt that you're going through some kind of an inner healing. You do have some kind of a issue probably with a relationship of somebody who's quite close to you, that you are trying to sort through. I feel like it's probably an ending of that situation. It could still be a reconciliation, but either way, you're stepping back from it here at some point to reevaluate or change your perspective of it. I do feel that you are having to consider your health at this time. I think that you need to just be aware that you are supposed to take action. The universe is telling you to take some action here in the month of June 15th to the first week of July. But again, you need to take some action. Most of it right now is cerebral for you. I feel that you are piecing things together. You're trying to create some steps to go forward. Either you've got some new opportunities or on the job front that are coming through for you, or that there is something that's going to be gifted to you in terms of money that's going to give you a sense of security here, because again, you had the with the Nine of Pentacles, but just to be patient about your healing. But again, there is some kind of monies or something that's coming through here. And again, some sense of new learning that is also on that forefront. You were supposed to, something is going to be happening probably more along the emotional front, in probably relating to relationships. But anyway, with the Harvest card and the Warrior, so you having to go inward and something that would be harvesting in around a year's time. You do have some reason to celebrate toward the end of, again, June and toward that first week of July. You will be celebrating after a time of whatever this gift of from the universe was. There might be some kind of pain attached to it as well, that because you're going into retreat mode here as well, with that Judgment card, but it's also something that you needed to do. It's an action that you needed to take within yourself and able to gain insight and enlightenment. But you were looking inward. And again, you did find happiness toward the end here and getting out of that self-sabotage mode. You've got friends and people that you're starting to celebrate with. So you are starting to come out of your retreat. And again, even though you've suffered some sense of loss or setback to your overall happiness, you are transitioning out after this time of retreat. So there might have been some loss in the month of June or something that you learn about, that is of loss to you, that somehow affects your happiness. But you need to just do the slow and steady. Be wise. Listen to your intuition. There was some kind of a separation or a dissolving of something here, but you need to just trust your own spark and put your spark and energy behind things that you want to manifest. Not putting so much energy and time into negative things or negative thoughts, because that's what you'll bring about. So again, you also had the wish fulfillment card with the Nine of Hearts. So you do have something that is manifesting in your favor, things that are moving in your direction. Overall, really good reading. And as I say, I do feel that there's more to come here in the month of July, a carry on of much of what's happening here, because you're still at a period of developing with whatever this project is. So I know I do go on, and I'm really glad that you sat through the reading. I really appreciate your time and energy. I do try to give my best, and certainly to give you as many details as I can in these readings. So I hope you appreciate it, because I won't always be able to do them as long as I am, but I am trying to take advantage of that time given the circumstances right now with COVID. So anyway, have a really great June, and we'll see you in July.